So today, welcome back to the GLO Up podcast. Again, I need to be more consistent doing these, but we have Christen Michel with us today. And I have to say that, Christen, you were my biggest supporter in the very beginning of me going off onto my own and becoming an entrepreneur. And like, I had met you once before because you did my initial training.
Yes.
I
know I trained you.
Yes.
It's so funny how it comes back around.
With skincare and like in the aesthetics like side of things, not the injectable side of things.
Correct. Yep.
But she was the initial person, and it's like we knew each other, but like didn't really have a real relationship. But I knew behind the scenes,
like a little connection.
Yes, but I would hear behind the scenes that she was like my biggest fan going off onto my own, and I was like, okay, that makes me feel so empowered.
And do you remember I just kept emailing you like, when are you gonna say where you are? What are you doing? Tell me. And you're like, I can't. I just couldn't wait to
I was
hear
under
what the next
a
move.
legal contract and couldn't.
I could not wait to hear what the next move was.
Yes, and then we became roommates and we shared space in the beginning because my model is essentially to keep your overhead as low as possible so you can make things more affordable, because my clients would see me in a back alley. Like they don't care like what the environment is. Yes. So I think it's the service. And our personalities, and like we're just like real people.
They don't care if you have a waterfall coming down when they walk in. They just like your service and you.
Yeah, exactly.
They do not care about the granite countertops and the
all the procedures. I mean, I love those things, and I love like a good vibe of a place.
Yes.
But I think in the beginning, just like getting started, like we shared rooms, and then I'm like, oh no, I have to pick up after myself. I'm really bad about doing that.
It was good. I liked it. You were great to work with.
Yes. But so you've been an entrepreneur longer than I have been, in theory. And
I think I'm on year 15.
That's crazy. I'm on year like maybe
14, maybe
7.
Yeah, because you were W-2 for a while after I met you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So today we wanted to talk about like the journey of entrepreneurship and aesthetics.
Yes.
It's a dog world in aesthetics. But the mindset that you go through as an entrepreneur.
It is terrible sometimes, isn't it? The ups and downs.
I tell nurses all the time, I'm like, okay, nurses, like you went to nursing school and you probably became ADD, because I was not ADD in high school. I didn't need anything, but I think it's society today. Yeah. But I tell them, become an entrepreneur and now you're bipolar.
You wake up and you just don't know what the day has in store for you.
Yes, and you ride these highs and lows. And like, I do think it's so liberating and rewarding, but it's not easy.
That is the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is one of the hardest things. I mean, I've given birth, I've had twins, and this is hard. But so rewarding.
Totally. I just feel like, though, I think the thing we were going to talk about, though, today was like imposter syndrome.
Yep.
Because you do like go through these phases in your business, and like I feel like it's the ebb and flow of life in general, and like you'll hit a bunch of success and then
it kind of dies down. And
yes. And I think like I honor those times as like my rest and restoration periods to rebuild myself, and make sure that I'm doing all the right things for me to be able to sustain, because we fill others up for a living. Yes. And so it's easy to get really drained.
Yes, it is so sometimes, especially in the beginning of when you're going out on your own, one wrong, maybe one no that you hear can just ruin your whole vibe. After the 500 I love yous and yeses, that one,
Well, it happens in waves of 3 for me, right?
Does it?
It'll be like, oh, my forehead feels heavy, and you're like, oh. And then it's like 3 people, but then like, honestly, it's never as bad. Text messages sometimes make it worse than an actual like in person. But then it always follows up with some kind of positive comment right after, and you're like, okay, I'm back.
And I always have to remind myself, in this industry, this is not like everything is fixable. I mean, for the most part, what we're doing is fixable. Nothing is, I don't want to say life-threatening, but really, I mean, what we're doing, we can fix if you're not happy with your results. But it's still, it just brings you down for a little bit. You're like, I've had such a good...
And sometimes, don't you think it's our best guess what's best for them, and what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the next.
Yes.
And like adverse events like just happen. We're in a profession to make people better, and my full intentions are to make them better and like make them happier.
Every treatment better.
Empowering someone on the outside is just empowering someone on the inside, and I think that is like what my sole purpose is.
Yeah.
But it does come with these ups and downs, with things that you can't control, or the expectation wasn't set right, you know, or whatever. But with that being said, but like also owning your business and going through the evolution of your own life, because I come from nothing. Like my mom really hates when I say my story, because I'm either like upper lower class or lower middle class, right? And I get into this very pretentious industry. And then I have to like prove my way in it. But then it's like my identity like evolves as I grow as a person. And you're like, wait a minute, I still want to be the same person who I identified as like my whole life. But like, again, our industry is to make people better. And like, we're doing that for ourselves too, like inside and out, the evolution and growth of ourselves.
Yep. And I think what you're saying is that's kind of what leads to this imposter syndrome.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, because I feel like I don't know about you, but I didn't really have that until I left my W-2 as an esthetician. I don't know if you kind of felt the same, but it's as soon as I went out on my own, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And it's worse than just your common anxiety. Do you agree with that sometimes when that takes over?
I think you go through these stages, like you're so determined in the beginning when you like first leave.
You've got the excitement and the novelty.
And I'm like, I can't fail. I had a family to support. I didn't, my spouse at that time was a police officer, made like I didn't have an option.
Yeah, it was.
So there was no choice.
Yes.
So I didn't think about it initially, but then 2 or 3 years later, you get a little taste of like success and you're like, what a whirlwind. How did this happen? Am I good enough? Like I took so much heat in the meanwhile. I was like the number one hated injector for doing something a little different than others. But I'm like, look, my intentions are to just help people and make them better without like having a salesy approach, you know, and like in someone else's like way of doing things.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure with your business model and your new technique, because you kind of what is the word? You found a gap in the industry, and I'm sure that was made the imposter syndrome so much worse. Like, what? No one's really done this before.
Yeah, I have to say, I really didn't care at that time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, like I just was like mind over matter. I knew what I wanted, and it like I think it was like this young like grit feeling I had. Right.
Oh yeah.
Now though, I struggle with it more now because you're like, okay, you like take it back and you're like, how do I sustain it? I don't have the same amount of energy that I did.
And now I have all of this on my plate. And you have all these people relying on you.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're kind of the opposite of me. I've gotten over the imposter syndrome, but mine just hit hard at the beginning. And it was debilitating for me.
But you were doing so many things. Not only were you treating clients, but you brought on
my own
you were like the original in St. Louis. I
always say that too. Because I'm like, okay, now everybody's doing it. And now I don't feel so cool.
Yeah, but I think your products are still very unique compared to a lot of
affordable.
Others. Yes, totally. And
and clean. So it's like
a total market.
Yes. I don't feel like that has affected me at all with all these people doing that. But I will say it was because when I did it, that was the reason why I had the imposter syndrome. I'm like, nobody else is doing this. So something's wrong. What is wrong with me? What am I doing? Is this a joke? Is this a fail? If nobody else is doing it.
Talk about like how you would have to package your own orders, because owning a business, I learned this on TikTok of all places, that you go through several stages, and like the first stage is you do everything on your own.
Everything on my own. I mean, I would have labeled my own stuff mostly just to save some money, really. I mean, the crazy things I was doing when I look back, it's insane. The things just to because I didn't have a ton of money to spend. I mean, I think I took a loan out on my car just to get money for the lab. And my husband, thank God, he was like, just don't let it fail. We'll come up with the money. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
I'm just, if there's a will, there's a way type of person. That's led me to where I am. I feel like
there are so many more people out there way less qualified, making so much more money and being successful. So it's like anyone, if you have enough determination, you're going to be fine.
Totally.
You'll find the money.
I think it's a lot of it's alignment too. Like, what is your true purpose in the world, and are you aligned with what your calling is?
Yes.
So I think those who fail are usually due to a lack of effort, and like, it's not the path they're supposed to be on.
They're just kind of, exactly. It wasn't, when you know that, you'll know when it's your path. You can just feel it. I couldn't imagine getting out of this industry. This is where I've been since since I was 23, and I'm 45. It's just, clearly this is where I was supposed to be.
Totally.
But I still get taken over by imposter syndrome, every once in a while. I've worked myself through it.
Yeah, I think it's like a phase, and I just think it's like, to me, it's also like routine. I like new things, so I love to be innovative and think of like what's next. In my life, I'm always like, everything could be better in every way.
It always could,
But when do you think people like stop and they like settle and they find contentment?
Well, that's a conversation I have with my husband a lot, because I feel like, why can't I just be who I am now? He's always reaching for more and more. So that's like our argument all the time. He wants to take it to the next level, and I'm like, I'm comfy where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm making enough money to travel and,
to do the things you want.
I'm okay, but he is kind of different with that. He's like, where can we go next? What can we do next? So I
love that. That's a good support system.
It
because
is.
if you don't have a supportive spouse, also, you won't fail. Anybody, I'm no relationship expert by any means, but what I've learned through my evolution and through my journey is that sometimes your relationships will interfere with your success and try to distract you. And I believe, if you believe in like the religion, spiritual world, that's the enemy trying to use that tactic. But I think it's really important, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, to know that you're surrounded by the right people in your life. From the spouse level, like making that decision is super important, that they're going to be your biggest advocate and teammate.
You have to have that.
And not, I'm divorced. And the reason why is, lots of reasons, but we're not here about that. But I would go to a Botox party, and he'd be like, "What time are you gonna be home?" And I'd be like, "Probably 9:30." Yeah, probably 9:30. He would hold me to that and be like, "What do you mean you're not home at 9:30?" Well, I stayed and added on an additional service, or had a glass of wine with people afterwards because they were so great.
And then you feel guilty if your phone's going off, and then you have to have. And then I remember when I first came up with the idea to launch my line, there were a couple people that I felt like were being a little toxic, and I just decided to kind of remove them for the time being, not forever, just because it would take one, negative phone call for me to be like, maybe this is a stupid idea.
Yeah, they would try to talk you out of it.
Like that's,
You want to know one hardship I learned? I've had like a terrible past 5 years, right? Like I've gone through like some kind of like different phases. Though it's not everybody has your best interest in mind.
I know, and it's so sad.
It's so mind blowing to me, and I'm like, what? I have everybody else's best interest in mind.
And don't you kind of want like the people around you to be like super successful?
Totally.
So that's what I don't understand.
Yes. My current boyfriend, he speaks at conferences, and one of my favorite things that I ever heard him say is surround yourself with people who either want to be you or you want to be.
That's a good way to look at it.
And I think it's like-minded individuals that are kind of like the same level and character of who you are, who you want to become.
Yeah.
And that way, because whatever they're doing in their life, all the self-discipline that it takes to stay aligned on these paths, because it takes discipline.
So much
discipline. Grit and discipline. Yes. And it's like, okay, well, they're supportive because they're not going out and partying, or they are, and they're just really cool to defy those odds, or whatever.
That's
but
true.
They understand, the workload and the priorities and things that it takes to become successful.
It is. Who you're surrounding yourself with is so important. I can't even stress that.
Yes.
And I mean, you don't have to permanently delete them from your life, but it's like maybe a step back.
And like real people, not like fake pretentious people, like genuine, authentic people is who I want to surround myself with, that have a little goal and motivation in life.
Yeah.
And I think as the aesthetics providers that we are here to empower people. Our whole goal is to make them more confident,
Exactly.
externally.
I mean, and I think, jealousy is going to be a big problem too. I just think that, some people just don't like to see you grow. And you've got to.
I think that's so sad.
I
just, I had to literally mourn through a lot of that, but I'm just like, okay.
It is.
Okay, but that goes back to the phases of owning a business. They say that you're everything all at once.
Yep.
Then they say the second stage is you hire friends and family. To kind
of
fill the roles.
Which don't they always say you're never supposed to do, but everybody does it.
Everybody does it, and I think we both can say we've been through our fair share of trials and tribulations, experiencing that.
Yes.
The third phase is you actually bring on professionals for the categories you need. They do
not need to be your friends. You don't even really need a friendship with them.
Yes.
They're not your buddies.
So that's definitely the phase I feel like I'm in.
I know.
Because I wanted to grow the company, so I needed real professionals in the right positions, to be able to sustain. Because some people want to stop at the level where they're at. They don't want to change, or like change is like scary to them.
I'm sure that was scary for you to go to this last phase that you're in now, because
it was definitely an eye-opening experience.
You're bringing in the big dogs, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh my gosh, but it's been nothing but great so far for you.
Yeah, but all I wanted to do was really sustain the company, because growing entrepreneurs in this industry is super liberating. So from the client level, changing people's lives and building confidence, but now to watch nurses become entrepreneurs, or even estheticians that are part of our group too, to become entrepreneurs, because that's the way of 2025, right?
Yeah.
I call us the Uber of aesthetics.
I kind of feel like this is working for people is going to just fizzle out in the next 20 years. Don't you think? Like all of a sudden, I mean, I know we have to have companies where you have employees, but this is the way to go, in my opinion.
And I'm just trying to be a formal business in a box, because provider mindset, which you're a provider too, we're just doers, we're hands-on. So figuring out the business aspects and like the thinking concepts, like sometimes isn't easy, like how to calculate your expenses and find the right accountant, and like, I don't know anything about a business, but I know how to be an injector or how to be an aesthetician.
And that's why having a good spouse, because I feel like, I know your boyfriend's good at that stuff, right? And my husband's good at that stuff. I'm like
my boyfriend's a good delegator. That's
okay. So he knows how to delegate. Okay. No, you having somebody in your little circle that can do, because we always talk about how much we hate like busy work. Like, I don't want to fill out forms for the city for the business license.
Oh my gosh, it's like
I don't want to do any of that. No. I have the idea. I'm the hands-on. I want to have the idea and be with the client and promote my product. You know what I mean? I don't want to do the busy work, but some people love that.
Okay, so back to the imposter syndrome. So then it's when people come up to you and they're like, wow, you're a badass businesswoman. And you're like,
no, I'm not.
I'm really just a provider.
If you only knew. The business side is so hard for me.
It is so hard for me too. And I'm just like, what if I'm not doing something right and I'm going to, my biggest fear is that I'm always going to be in trouble.
I always think I'm going to get a letter from somebody that's like, you.
Right. But that's why
to jail.
I felt like it was relevant to bring on professionals in my company to make sure these T's and I's for like the growth and the vision I have to go on this national campaign and like grow entrepreneurs nationally.
Yeah.
I needed to know that it was secure and solid, right?
Yeah, you need that.
I could do a whole podcast over just going from a mom and pop shop to, you know, like actually starting on my own. To
in your
mom and pop to a
kitchen.
large, has just been like, the emotions. Nobody really talks about all the hardships behind the scenes on just like in a psychological way.
Yeah, I know. I mean, how many nights have you just woke up at 3 a.m. sweating over like I don't know if you ever do that. You're like, oh my God, did I submit that, you know, am I legal? Like, did I do my license?
Or is like someone upset with you, like because like you're trying to make a dream come alive, and it's like you're not trying to offend everyone.
Yep.
But like
I think that's part of imposter syndrome, because I always feel like somebody hates me or somebody's mad at me. for no reason.
Somebody always is naturally. I mean, I just don't get it. I just feel like I'm not mad at them.
I know, I'm not mad at anyone. And then, or like somebody cancels and you're like, oh my God, they hate me, but really they had a emergency in the family. You know, it's so stupid.
I'm kind of the opposite. I'm kind of like, sure.
Well, I just
sure
assumed they didn't like their last
yes.
treatment with me, or you know, like.
Oh my gosh, I don't think that whatsoever.
The little things that go on in my head. I'm like, why are they canceling? And then they'll reach out, 20 minutes later. I had to cancel, putting my dog to sleep. And I'm over here like, they hate me. They don't ever want to come back to me again.
I had to cancel because I had to put my dog to sleep on Friday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I also, though, hate canceling on clients, though,
yes.
right? But, like, sometimes you're like, I'm just a real human
yes.
with a real life, too.
And things happen.
But, man, if there's anything I would say about my character and yours as well, is, like, we have integrity. Like,
yes.
we're in it to win it. We are here for the right reasons. But,
yes.
like, we're trying to maintain the rest of our life, too.
I know.
And it's hard.
And I know you have most of yours are out of the house, but you're also trying to raise other humans. And that really
and do a good job.
Yes.
So that goes back to like a lot of mindset I have is, that women were, made to stay at home. And like my whole life I'm like defying the odds and like, I'm not going to rely on any kind of allowance. I'm going to make all the money.
That would be nice.
But like, man, I understand why though, because the purpose was to raise children. I'd be way too bored to be a
I know. I tried
mom.
it for about a month.
Yeah, like the busier I am, the better I am in general. I guess that's just like a characteristic of her.
I wonder if this is an entrepreneur thing. Do you work better, what's the word? Like do you need to be like towards the end of your deadline? Like
totally, under pressure.
What's the word? Under pressure.
Yes.
Like I get my best stuff done under pressure.
That's how I wrote papers in high school.
Yes.
It was like, it's due in 5 hours.
Yes.
I'm just going into a focus mode.
And it's my best work. But when I try to work on it for a month before, it's a fail.
Because you'll have too much time to think about it. And like be
under pressure is how I roll.
Yeah, I have such a busy week this week, and we're on my team meeting today, and I just realized I really value this. One of my employees is probably like, he probably works better actually not under pressure, kind of like, but he's more disciplined than I am, like in those settings, right? Because I'll be like, he'll stay on top of his agenda, but I could see that he's like a little extra stressed because it's a heavy week, and I'm like, what? We're gonna thrive this week.
Because this is where I thrive.
Yes, so like I was like, the busier the better.
Yes, totally. I love the busiest weeks. I mean, my to-do list right now is like this long, and do you think it's the sense of accomplishment afterwards? Like,
and like
you
just feel like,
look what I just did in one day.
Yeah, that normal
people cannot do.
Yeah, they would.
I know, and it's like even on a Sunday, like yesterday, I was on my computer all day working on marketing stuff for the holidays, and one of my sons was like, "You've been on your computer all day," and it's like, I know, but once I get dialed in, if I stop, we're done for the day.
Yeah,
I have to keep going.
Yes.
I cannot stop the momentum.
I know. My kids used to always be like, all you do is on your phone or whatever. And
it looks like you're just scrolling your phone all the time, but I'm actually working.
Because there are normal people, if you will, a non-entrepreneur that does spend time scrolling on their phone. Yes,
but if I'm on my phone, I'm not really usually scrolling. It's replying. It's posting, it's, all the things. It's working on Canva. I do that a lot for my phone.
Yes.
But I always look like I'm just on my phone all day, which I am.
I do say, though, I take the time out to make sure I am present
at,
particular times where it matters, when it's important to be.
You have to.
But that's the ebb and flow, too, of that. And what I tell people trying to get started as an entrepreneur, it comes with some kind of sacrifice.
It does.
And I did miss kids' events for 2 years while I was, like, in the beginning, because success was only on me and to provide for them, and I don't have anybody to fall back on.
But now all of your kids right now think it's so cool what you've done. So it's not like you lost.
My 8-year-old, she's just like, do you love me? And I'm like, of course I do. And so I talk to my oldest daughter who's 25, and I'll be like, can you believe that she's asking that?
Like,
and I go, doesn't she know I'm just a doer and I'm busy? And she goes, no, she's 8. She doesn't understand
It's true.
that. Yeah.
I know. One day when she takes over this company, she's gonna really love you.
That's her goal, yes. But
she's gonna love it.
I also feel, though, people are better when they have to work for things a little bit.
Exactly. I know. I mean,
when you're handed something, you don't value it as much as when you grow it on your own.
Yeah.
Although we think we want things handed to us, we think we want things easy.
Yeah.
And so Josh at the gym, my personal trainer told me this the other day. I was like, Josh, why can't I just have a good body while I'm sleeping?
I know.
He
or
was like,
turn your nails into the nail salon.
He goes, because then you wouldn't have earned it and you wouldn't value it as much. And I was like, is that true? I don't know. But I guess, true. Yes, we're always happier.
It's like when you're marking stuff off your to-do list, that feeling is so good. It's the same thing.
But then there are days that you just need nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, those are my recharge, restoration days. And I'm like, honestly, I've been overstimulated and I just need to do nothing right now.
I know, but like, after this, I don't have any clients today. What I would love to do is just watch my shows on Netflix. And I probably earned that right. I was working all weekend, but I'm not going to. I'm going to conquer that to-do list.
I just don't love TV. I'm just not a TV
I'm on a show right now that I like.
What show is it?
Sirens. It's really good. But that, like, it's cold outside, but I can't do that. I have so much. It's the holiday season. It's busy.
Yeah.
So
this is the busiest season in theory, really yes, for our industry.
It is.
And just for the record, all the J months are typically the slowest, so I feel like everybody sees that. Yeah, like post holidays, everybody tries to get everything done.
Yes.
So now is the time for, wouldn't you say, like marketing?
Yes, I'm doing a ton of that right now. That's like what I was
Christmas
working on.
Holiday promos and like packages. Keep it simple.
Yes. Yeah, this is a big marketing time for me, I feel like.
But don't you think people just want simple, like, click this, no, I'm getting this, here's a good gift set for someone for Christmas.
Yes, people love that.
We're in this high demand society.
And I've noticed people like it's like, okay, this is a kit for if you just have dull skin. This, I've kind of learned what people like. They like it, a simple kit, and like, okay, dull, that's not me. Okay, breakouts, that's me. Like, you know what I mean? It is dull skin
in the winter. I know. Where no humidity.
I do focus on dull skin a lot in the winter for like marketing purposes.
Yeah.
I do a lot of that.
Let's talk about imposter syndrome and all the transitions, but like the transition into seasons. And I identify transitioning into seasons in life in general.
Yes.
Like there is a season, like for maybe you're more family focused. There's a season for more work focused. There's a season of change. But I swear, like, I just struggle with any transition.
From season to season?
Yes, overall. Like, whether it is, quote unquote, life or it is the actual season, because everything changes. Like, the whole dynamic. Like, from
our
a
whole
physical
job
to,
changes, too. Have you noticed that? It's like it's like I have to redo my whole treatment plan for my people, like season to season. So it's like I think we're just constantly moving season to season, and they're short, so we're always on the move with stuff.
So I think one way that trying to battle imposter syndrome is just living in the present moment and going with the flow instead of against the current.
Yes.
And it's like when trends change, when things change, and just be like, okay, like I change too, and there's gonna always be an evolution of yourself. Who you were this year isn't the same as last year and the year before.
And a lot of times that's a good thing.
Because you're through this journey of like hardships and challenges, because being an entrepreneur is just simply...
I mean, you think about it all the time. 24/7.
I know.
And one thing I did for imposter syndrome, because I will say I feel like I'm out of the woods now, but I kept an evidence file on my phone for all of my wins. Anytime something cool would happen, I put it in there. And you just kind of read that. And when you're going through, let's say you're having a bad day, we're like, I feel like I'm a fraud. I feel like I'm not good enough. You have to go into that list and try to write down why. Like, what evidence do you have? Who's told you that? And there's never evidence of you being a failure. Like, very rarely. So it's like you're going through your list of all your wins. And you're like, well, where's the proof that I am not good enough for this? And there never is.
Well, I think that's the craziest thing I've ever heard, that you would have that thought. Because I think you're a true badass, and I think you're one of the industry's original.
I mean,
I think you're super respected in the industry across the board, and like...
I mean, well, I would say, because one thing I told myself when I left out on my own, I'm not going to change my personality for like marketing or like posting. I want to make sure that I am just like I guess if you don't like me, then I'm not your right esthetician. You know what I mean? Like I
wouldn't like it.
I just, I'm not going to be anybody but me.
Yeah.
Which was nice because where we came from, you and I,
you
our
had to
W-2s,
conform to who they wanted you to be.
Like how I call it W-2. You know what I mean?
I know.
But it's like I got so tired of being somebody having fake conversations, trying to relate, and it's like now I don't have to do that, and it's great. Because if you don't like me, my bedside manner or anything, then there's other estheticians you can go to. That's fine.
Yeah, I've just my whole life have declared that I'm just a real, like I just keep it real.
Yes, and isn't that so much better than
totally.
every day?
And that's what I teach. Like in our classes here, I don't just teach like the clinical side of things. I teach like some of this like personality, what it takes.
Yes.
And my number one thing is to be just truly who
yes.
you are or who you want to become. If
yes.
you have an idea of this person
yeah.
you do want to become, but don't lose the true inner you along that way.
It's so true. Of course, stay professional, but just be. It's so cliche to say, but it's like just be yourself. I promise it will work out.
Yeah. Unless you need to better yourself. There are some people.
Well, yeah, some people
yes.
do need to not be
yes.
themselves.
Yeah.
But I would say in the
be the best
network,
version of yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I would
with
say
all good, positive
yes.
intentions. I believe
yes.
in greater good versus greed in entrepreneurship. That
yes.
if you stick with a purpose or a service or a product that is going to better someone
yeah.
in some way, then you can't lose. But if you start a business because you just think you want to make money,
yeah.
you're not going to win. And
you're not, I know. And yeah. I always think like at the end of the day, if I'm feeling any kind of weird way, I always know that I did the best that I could. I did the best treatment that I could possibly do. So it's like if something goes wrong, I really didn't do it on purpose. Like I didn't come in slacking. I guess
if you do what's right, you can't go wrong.
Yes,
someone told me that
so
once, and I
true,
abide by it. Yes.
I mean, if something goes wrong, that was. I mean, it wasn't anything that because I came in, whatever.
Yeah.
Not hungover or something like that.
Although we all have like our harder days where
yes.
we're not like something else isn't on our mind. Yes. But because we're human.
Yes, I know.
At the end of the day.
But it's, I mean, just if you are just doing the best you've been taught, that's all you can do. I mean, really.
Yeah. Well, I think this was great. I think this was a lot of insight on
how we're all probably feeling. It's not. If somebody thinks they're all alone out there, they're not.
No, and that's
it's
what
a sad world, isn't it? The entrepreneur world.
That was the whole purpose of this network I was trying to build, though, was that there was like a positive sounding ground, and for everybody to help one another, and positive only.
Yeah.
And again, we're not perfect, so sometimes negativity slips in. But I'm like, no, like I want it to be a platform and a foundation for like people to know that they're out here practicing on their own.
They feel alone, but they're not.
Like, they're somebody's experienced what they've experienced before could help them either clinically, emotionally, mentally, in whatever aspect.
Yeah.
Or gain inspiration from somebody else at the very least.
I know. It is nice because when I first went on my own, I didn't have you yet. You know what I mean? Because you were just
doing it. Like
I was literally out there.
Just doing it.
And I had nobody to talk to for a good 5 years, I would say. Nobody at all.
That had to feel so lonely because I felt alone when I first left, and I felt like I broke up with 10 people leaving the facility. I left, and I was just like, okay, here I go.
Yeah, out into it's like you're just thrown out there, and I can't imagine. That was bad. That's probably why I had such imposter syndrome. I had nobody to talk to.
Yeah. Then we found each other.
I know, and then now we have this whole network. And
yes.
You could always talk to somebody now, which is great because somebody is going through the same thing at this very moment.
Yes, and I think we both have vested interest to always help build one another, in a lot of ways. And I'm always trying to think ideas. I know we talk about owning.
Owning everything.
Together, yes. But that's the entrepreneur mind, right?
Yes,
like it never stops.
Yeah, what's a cool thing we could do?
Yes. Well, I really appreciate you for everything.
I appreciate you. I think everybody does.
And thank you so much for taking your time out to come today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.